Hey everybody, it is summer in the Midwest of the United States and it is hot. It's about 100 degrees outside and I'm sitting in my car with it shut off with no air conditioning going, so the thunder of the air conditioning doesn't drown out my voice. And why do I keep talking about it? Let's just go in to the nice air-conditioned bookstore and see what treasures await. Okay, so there's some interesting stuff in here today that I pulled aside because I wanted to talk more about. First thing, even though this is a Stephen King channel, I do have to make a quick recommendation for Thomas Oleheuvel's novel Hex. I read this, or listened to it, a couple of years ago. Blew my mind. One of the best horror novels I've ever read. So if you've not checked this one out, I highly, highly recommend it. This paperback of Firestarter caught my eye. I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but if you see one of these, either in the white or black variant, check the copyright page. So it's very, very rare, like almost impossible. I've never seen one in person to find one with a full number line that includes the number 1. This was an error at the printing, the manufacturing plant. So the first printings have number lines that go down to 2 with very, very rare exceptions. So while paperbacks are not particularly valuable or considered particularly collectible, if you ever do find one of these that includes the number 1 on the number line, you've got something really interesting. So pick it up, especially for a good price. I did notice this hardcover jacketless edition of The Shining. It has the same color scheme as the first edition, but I could tell right away that it was not, because it has the same trim size as later books from the 80s, 90s, and beyond. And of course, the original Doubleday had a smaller trim size, as well as cloth on the binding. This one has paper. So $17.99 is not a very good deal for this thing, which is a very common type of reprint. Speaking of, Christine, potentially a first edition, but again, without a jacket, for a price of $16.49. It has some wear and tear, some staining, somebody loved this book, and there's nothing wrong with that, but $16.49, I don't know. I don't think so. Not today. And then finally, a couple of really, really nice quality copies of Desperation and The Regulators, which of course famously fit together like so, to make a single unified cover image, which I love, absolutely love. Each one of these are Regulators is $8, Desperation is $7.50. So for $15.50, that really nice pair would look really nice on the shelf. So that I would consider to be a very good deal, because these are in very nice shape indeed. And just based on the jacket and everything, I'm assuming first edition, first printing, yep. There's the number 1 on the number line. Not very surprising considering there were like a million of these created, produced, published. But yeah, interesting look around the bookstore today. I'm gonna check out a couple more places, see if anything else pops up, and I will be right back with you. So there was some good deals in there today, some very just random things. Some of the comments I've received on these videos from people living in other countries and other parts of the world about just how cool it is to have, like, any day of the week you can go in and find those books, duplicates of things that I dismissively consider common and don't pay much attention to, but other people would be really excited to walk into a bookstore where they live and find those books any day of the week, or even once in a great while. It would be quite a treat. So the comments of other people have helped me appreciate a bit more the American bookstore scene, and so I appreciate that. It's helped me look at things in a different way, and maybe lavish a little bit more attention and affection on things that I previously would have just passed over. But I didn't buy anything, but I was really tempted by that duo of Desperation and the Regulators, because I recently reread those, did a video about them, sort of reviewing them, thoroughly enjoyed them, and I no longer have my copies. And you got to have the pair to put the jackets together and make that unified image, which is just so cool and so unique. Probably the biggest news, the biggest thing, was that Night Visions 5, which was $400, which I honestly don't know if that's a good deal or not. It was signed by 3 authors, Dan Simmons and Douglas Winter and George R.R. Martin, and that might be where the value lies in that signature. It was not signed by Stephen King. However, just the trade edition of that anthology, which I'm sure is really interesting and unique, and probably is pretty valuable to have signed by any of the authors in the trade form. But anyway, I'm definitely not in the market to spend $400 on any book that is not signed by Stephen King, or any book that is signed by Stephen King. But it's just a prime example of how you never know what you're going to find. And in my previous In the Wild video, I did feature the copy of The Wastelands that they had for $250. That is an ex-library copy, so has plentiful issues that go along with it, and to me was incredibly overpriced. And now, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Weeks later I come back and the book is still there and hasn't been sold. So half-price books, you never know. Sometimes you come in and you find an amazing deal. I've gotten some of the best deals of my life at half-price books, and then other times things are just ridiculously overpriced and you wonder if they even know what they have. But that, you know, you just never know. You never know what you're gonna get, and that's what keeps me coming back. And anyway, I appreciate your support of me, support of the channel, your subscription to the channel. All of that means a lot to me, and I'm glad that these videos are popular because I have a lot of fun doing them. And if you have any comments or thoughts about the bookstore scene, or the bookstore scene in America, the bookstore scene wherever you live, please go ahead and put them in the comments. Let me know where you're from, and let me know what the bookstore scene is like in your corner of Mother Earth. I would really be interested to learn all about that. But anyway, until next time, thank you very much. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you later. Bye.